What's up, guys? All right, welcome back to another video, guys. Okay, so without further ado, let me begin. All right, so welcome back to another live video, guys. So today I will be talking about analyzing pre-CPI. As many of you guys should know, there will be CPI news coming up. Okay, so there is CPI news that is actually coming out tonight. Okay, and my personal forecast is that they are expecting the CPI to come out and rise by 0.5% compared to the previous 0.4% compared to the previous 0.5%. Okay, so let me just write that down for you guys. So CPI news, they are expecting the month to be forecasted to rise by 0.4% versus so that is the forecasted. Okay, and for the previous, it would be 0.5% previous. Okay, so let me just explain this to you guys really quickly. Okay, so before I start to analyze the charts, we can see that the CPI is being forecast to grow at 0.4%. However, what does this mean for the USD? All right, what does this mean for the future of the dollar or any dollar denomination? If you were to start from the DXY chart, shall we? Okay, if we start from the chart of Dixie, we see that price have really went down all the way. Okay, and if you're talking about the 4 hours time frame, price have kind of broken structure, and this is how it's going to be, guys. Okay, so if CPI news were to come out at a whopping 0.6% or more, or 0.7%, that would mean that inflation is rising at a faster pace than what the market has been pricing in. Okay, and because of the fact that it is rising at a faster rate than what the market is pricing in, okay, we could potentially see some bullishness on the USD. Okay, we could potentially see price coming back up. Okay, we can potentially see price coming back up to test multiple levels, okay, such as this zone over here that I've marked out. And the reason being is because when CPI increases, when inflation increases, okay, gives the Fed more incentives, greater incentives for them to hike interest rates. Okay, and that is very, very important over here because, all right, when the Feds decide to hike interest rates, okay, at a faster pace, okay, sorry, let's talk about at a faster pace. And the reason being is because, okay, during the previous NFP, the last NFP, right, Fed Powell actually mentioned that Feds would be encouraged to actually hike rates at a faster pace if the data says so. And the data is referring to the CPI news and the NFP news. However, the CPI is just going to come out tonight at about 8:30 p.m. UTC plus 8. Okay, and we can potentially see, okay, CPI. There are two scenarios to how this can pan out, right? So first things first, if CPI were to come out, very strong, it's going to increase by 0.6% month or 0.7%, okay? And even the core CPI will also start to increase. That would definitely affect the USD and would bring the USD up because that would actually incentivize the Feds to take on a more hawkish stance in the market as compared to any other currencies. And the reason for that, they could also mean a higher terminal rate. All right, and a higher terminal rate and a faster rate hikes would actually lead to the appreciation of the dollar. And we can potentially see the dollar continue moving upwards if the inflation proves to be very resilient and hard to beat. Okay, so that is very important in the market, and it's crucial for you guys to analyze how the fundamentals are at play over here. Okay, and let's talk about a scenario number 2. Okay, so just some context into this situation. We know that on the NFP, the previous NFP, the average earnings actually dropped to 0.2% from a forecasted 0.3% and the previous 0.3%. Okay, and And I mean, although it has increased, but it's increasing at a decreasing rate. Okay, and that actually have a role to play in inflation, because we can see that the wage inflation is starting to cool down, and that is directly correlated to the inflation and the price of goods and services, for example, such as the CPI tonight. Okay, and if the CPI were to come out as very very cooled down, it seems like it's slowing down, and it, for example, prints a number like 0.3%, okay, or 0.2%, that would really be a very very big signal, okay, that the Fed's rate hikes and the Fed's hawkish stance in the past have actually, or is coming to fruition. And when that happens, right, okay, the Feds likewise will be less incentivized and less encouraged, okay, to either hike rates at a faster pace again at the next FOMC meeting, or increase the terminal rate for their rate hikes. And when that happens, when inflation or the CPI news comes out to have cooled very very strongly, we can potentially see some further downside pressure on the DXY, guys. Okay, we can see potential price coming in to clear multiple levels below, and potential even forming a new low if this, the CPI news continues to carry on and continues to show that it's really starting to slow down. And that is key, guys. That is very important for tonight. And if you're looking at a structure, right, like market technical structure, we're looking at a DXY chart, price have already broken structure, and it have already broken structure to the downside, guys. Okay, if we see this area here, let me just draw this area. Price already taken out this high here. Let me mark that out for you guys with the brush. So we see this high here being taken out, guys. So that high there has been taken out, okay. And from here, as you can see on the price action, and followed by very strong bullish momentum that actually broke structure below, okay. And currently it seemed to be consolidating or forming some kind of, sorry about that, retracement to continue hitting lower. So in essence, I would say that technicals on the DXY chart is definitely favoring a short on the USD. Okay, it's definitely favoring the CPI news to come out, showing that it has slowed down significantly and better than what the market is forecasting it to be. Okay, and I just want to say first that the market can really go both ways in this, because the previous NFP print actually shows a very positive employment number, and we can potentially see the CPI news comes out to be very good as well. Okay, so it really boils down to tonight's data release, and that would be crucial. Okay, that would be extremely crucial to determining the next and upcoming direction where the USD will take and will be, guys. Okay, so for those of you guys who are new to the channel, okay, make sure to rewind this video again and watch where I started when I explained the two very important scenarios where the USD might happen. Okay, of course, if the CPI comes out to be the same as previous, or the CPI data comes out to be essentially what the market has been expecting or priced in, we could potentially see some movement in the market, but it could be rather muted. Okay, so let's really keep an eye out on 8:30 p.m. news at UTC +8 for the upcoming US CPI news. All right, guys. So that would be my analysis for the pre-US CPI release, and I hope you guys really gained something out of this session today. Okay, that would be my own nuggets of knowledge and nuggets of analysis and outlook on the market. Personally, for me, I'm favoring a USD bearishness to continue. However, we would have to adapt to the market no matter what. All right, so do stay tuned for more, guys. Okay, I'll catch you guys on Thursday. Okay, and actually, recently, as you guys may know, if you guys have been following our social media links, our partner, my partner Yongjin have already decided to step down. Okay, because of certain personal reasons. Okay, so he will not be joining us on the OlympusLab, and it's been a great pleasure to have him with us. Okay, however, I'm planning to ask him to come on board just to analyze the market with me on YouTube, and that's about it. And that's also about the extent that what he can do. Okay, so it's been a real pleasure to have him, and we will want to continue monitoring to see how the market is doing. And trade safe, guys. Tonight is CPI news, and definitely do trade vigilantly. Okay, and I'll catch you guys again on Thursday, and it's a pleasure to have you guys. Okay.